What's going on, YouTube land? This is June Heat here to discuss what happened last night with tribal combat and where does this leave the bloodline story. So this is kind of interesting because it having the Rock in the ring, crowning Roman with the Ulafala after Solo win the match. I mean after Roman wins the match. It was kind of weird, man. It felt weird because they was just staring at each other, and it was like, hey, say something, do something to kind of, don't just make it awkward. But that's what it seemed like to me. But who am I to say? But where does this leave the bloodline story? Eventually, if Solo wants to continue claiming the bloodline name or whatever, he has to acknowledge Roman. They have to eventually have a talk, put it that way. Some kind of talk has to be had between Solo, Jacob, the whole bloodline. Like the state of the bloodline needs to be addressed. And I felt like the show was, as far as tribal combat, it was a good match. It was a good match, but at the same time, it was great storytelling in it to the point to where it leave you wanting more to the story. It leave you wanting to see what's gonna happen with Roman and Solo, because I say eventually Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Solo, and Jacob is gonna be the real deal boss bloodline type. They gonna be the one that's really running wild on the roster. So I feel like it's at a point now where it's at a junction to where people want to know what's going to happen with Jacob. People want to know what's going to happen with Solo. But I just have a weird feeling because of the recent interactions between Drew McIntyre and Solo, the interaction between Drew and KO, and KO interfering in this match. I feel like it's like a super team of Roman haters being built right now. You know what I'm saying? Like it really seemed that way. Like they trying to build a super team that's gonna try to go and really challenge the bloodline for like a long storyline. I feel like they creating another heel super team. Three members of it, I can kind of guess. But what I'm seeing is Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, and Kevin Owens. I see those as probably automatic three members, the top three members of the group. Now, who I can see being thrust into their group, that's a different question. Because you have to have some kind of history with the bloodline, or with the bloodline crossing you or doing something to you, that you have to have some kind of motivation to be in this heel super team. Like they all have the same motives. Roman Reigns ran wild for almost 5 years straight and looked like he's finna pick back up. So all of them have their gripes of why Roman should, why Roman is not the top guy, or they want to be in his place. I don't know if they jealous or they just mad that he took that time from them, but they all have the same mind frame. Seth, KO, and Drew have the same mind frame when it comes to Roman Reigns right now. So I feel like they building that super team, bro, is is itching in my mind because I keep seeing, just like when KO interfered last night, just like when Drew and KO was on Friday night, and he helped KO ambush Cody in the ring Friday. It just feel like they building something, man, and it's gonna be big. Like, I don't know when it's gonna start. I feel like they gonna kind of play the rest of this out into WrestleMania, and then probably that Monday after WrestleMania, that's when that group is gonna come together and really cause some havoc on the Bloodline. That'll be a good story, because those are top guys, Drew, Kevin, and Seth. Yeah. Now, who I think will be in that group? Possibly Sami Zayn, because he's tied to the Bloodline and he's tied to KO. They could somehow talk him into it, or they could. I believe Roman probably might, once Jacob and Solo come back to the group. I think they probably would. They ain't gonna per se kick Sammy out of the group, but they probably gonna be like, yeah, you can go and do your own thing now, kind of, shoo him away quietly type. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna full out attack him, but they just gonna be like, this is a family thing, and we got a goal in mind. So they might rub Sammy the wrong way, and he might join that group. And if that was to happen, if Sammy was to join that group, the last two spots of the group need to go to two younger guys that's on the rise, that don't necessarily have something to do with the Bloodline per se, or have had a problem with the Bloodline, but they realize that the Bloodline, if they don't kind of start trying to slow the Bloodline story down, that it's going to keep going and going and going, and sooner or later it's going to take away from their time. So the two names that I would have, younger guys that I would throw in that stable with Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, and Seth Rollins, would be 1, Brian Breakker, 2, Austin Theory. Because I really, really, really want Austin Theory to get out of this storyline with Grayson Waller and spread his wings, because he could be real good if they find something good for him to get involved with. Maybe change up his attitude a little bit. But he can be something. We all know what Brian Breakker can do. So they'll be kind of like the muscled enforcers of the group. But I feel like that super team is going to get created, because and it's probably going to be 6, like I said, 6 members, because I believe Roman, Jay, Jimmy, Solo, and Jacob is going to be the group. They're going to kind of push Tom up to the side, and maybe him and his brothers can start their own little group. But because they eventually going to bring Lance in, so that's why I say the Hills team needs a six guy. So I just feel like that's where this is heading, because they plant too many seeds. They, like, Drew is really bearing down on Roman right now. Seth keep mentioning them, and KO keep mentioning them. So I feel like that's the way the story is slowly going that way. I feel like it. That's why I say they're gonna probably let it fizzle and cook all the way to WrestleMania. And I think by WrestleMania they're gonna kind of have a whole, not like a Bloodline reunion type thing, but it's gonna be like all the Bloodline gonna be on the same page by WrestleMania, on WrestleMania night. So, and I feel like that's gonna be what leads to furthering the storyline as far as this heel super team. But I know I'm not the only one that sees this. Like, for KO and Drew to be appearing together, throwing little digs at Roman, and then they also, all three of them kind of have a little fizzling. Well, not a little fizzling. as far as Drew and Seth, but they have something against Punk, so they all have something in common right now. So the whole storyline is intertwining, and I feel like that heel super team is coming, man. I really feel that heel super team coming, and it's gonna be kind of like something to try to end the bloodline, and like, because every great stable needs another great stable to push them to that level. So in the bloodline, they just really been having single people coming at them. You know what I'm saying? Not a continuous team to attack them at every turn. You know what I'm saying? Especially not a heel team. So I know y'all feel it coming, because I feel it coming. Like, it's a heel super team being made to try to end the bloodline, and you can bet your bottom dollar, if it's a heel super team being made, that Drew McIntyre, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins will lead that team. So that's where I'm at with that. Bloodline story is getting very, very interesting. I can see it heating up heading into WrestleMania and beyond. So that's my thoughts and opinions on the Bloodline situation coming out of Tribal Combat last night. So this has been June Heat here. Y'all, please, please, please do me a favor. Hit that like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to subscribe if they into anything, wrestling, sneakers, just small talk. Send them my way. And as always, be blessed.